Dad perfect events. I invited my son and his wife to Christmas dinner. On the day they abandoned me and ate at her mother's house instead. My name is Rick Coleman. I'm 67 years old, and I should have seen this coming. Maybe I did. Maybe I just didn't want to believe it. It was my first Christmas without Dorothy. She passed in March, 71 years old. Good heart, but the diabetes finally got her. She went peaceful, they said, but there's nothing peaceful about coming home to a quiet house after 42 years of marriage. Nothing peaceful about waking up to silence every morning, where her coffee pot used to be brewing. So this year, I made a plan. I decided I'd host Christmas dinner. Nothing fancy, just my son Danny and his wife Stephanie. That's it. I just didn't want to be alone. I spent 2 days cooking, not heating up frozen stuff. Real cooking. I made Dorothy's cornbread stuffing from scratch. Ham glazed with brown sugar and pineapple rings. Mashed potatoes whipped with butter, just the way Danny liked them when he was growing up. Pecan pie, sweet tea, rolls, green bean casserole that took me 3 tries to get right. I even made cookies, knowing Stephanie always claims she's on some diet, but sneaks them anyway. The house smelled like home for the first time in months. I bought a real tree too, not one of those pre-lit ones from the hardware store. A fresh Douglas fir. Cost me nearly $80, but I didn't care. Dorothy would have said it was too much, but she always smiled when she saw it twinkling. I hung all the old ornaments, our wedding photo in the little silver frame, Danny's macaroni star from 2nd grade, the glass angel that broke and got glued back together in '95. I wore the flannel shirt Dorothy bought me last Christmas, the one she said made my eyes look handsome. I hadn't worn it since the funeral. I got out the good china we only used for holidays. Set up the dining room table with the lace tablecloth Dorothy's mother made. Even polished the silverware until it gleamed. Dinner was set for 3 o'clock. I had the table ready by noon. By 1 o'clock, everything was done. Ham resting, rolls covered, sweet tea chilling. I lit the candles and put on some Christmas music. The house looked like something out of a magazine. For the first time in 9 months, I felt like myself again. Not just the guy who lived alone now, but Rick Coleman, who knew how to take care of his family. I was proud of what I'd put together. Dorothy would have been impressed. At 2:30, I texted Danny, "See you soon," no response. At 2:45, I checked the driveway, empty. At 3 o'clock, I sat by the front window. At 3:15, I started checking my phone every few minutes. Maybe traffic, maybe Stephanie had trouble getting ready. By 3:30, the food was getting cold. I put the rolls back in the oven, turned the ham down to warm. The candles were burning lower. The ice in the sweet tea was melting. I kept glancing at the clock, making excuses in my head. At 3:45, the doorbell rang. My heart jumped. Finally, I smoothed my flannel shirt and hurried to the door, already smiling. But it wasn't them. It was some college kid in a delivery uniform holding a manila envelope. Delivery for Mr. Richard Coleman. "Yes," I said, confused. "Who sends deliveries on Christmas Day?" He handed it to me and walked away without another word, like he couldn't wait to get back to his own family. I stood there on the porch, cold December wind cutting through my flannel, staring at this envelope. My hands were shaking a little as I opened it. Inside was a single sheet of paper with a note in Stephanie's perfect handwriting. "Rick, we're so sorry. We decided to spend Christmas at my mom's house this year. It was a last-minute change. We hope you understand. Love, Stephanie and Danny." No explanation, no real apology, no, "Let's reschedule," no, "We'll make it up to you." Just that they'd made other plans. I read it twice to make sure I wasn't missing something. I knew it then. This wasn't last minute. The silence all week when I'd called to confirm. The vague answers about timing. The way Danny hadn't returned my messages. They'd been planning this. They just didn't have the courage to tell me until it was too late for me to change anything. I stood in my perfect kitchen, food still warm but getting cold, candles flickering lower, table set for 3 people who would never come. I'd spent 2 days cooking for ghosts. I poured myself a glass of sweet tea and sat at the head of the table. I looked across at the 2 empty plates, the carefully folded napkins, the little Christmas crackers I'd bought, because Dorothy always liked them. I tried to eat, but my throat wouldn't let me swallow. Every bite tasted like disappointment. I stared at the ham I'd basted every 30 minutes, the pie I'd cooled on the windowsill, the stuffing I'd made with my own hands the way Dorothy taught me. None of it mattered now. All that work, all that hope, all that planning, for nothing. The house felt cold again, no matter how warm the oven was. I turned off the Christmas music, blew out the candles, and started packing everything into containers. The ham, the potatoes, the green beans, all of it going into the refrigerator, where it would probably sit until I threw it away. All except the pie. I left that on the counter. I couldn't bear to touch it. The phone never rang. No follow-up text. No Merry Christmas call. Nothing. Later that evening, I made the mistake of opening Facebook. Stephanie's mother had posted pictures. Her dining room table, full of people, wine glasses, plates half empty, everyone laughing. Danny was sitting right next to Stephanie, holding her hand, looking happier than I'd seen him in months. The caption read, "So blessed to have family together for Christmas. Nothing beats a house full of love." I didn't comment. I didn't like it. I just stared at that screen and thought, they didn't just forget about me, they replaced me. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat in the living room with the tree, lights still glowing, Dorothy's chair empty across from me. I used to complain she always fell asleep there after dinner, snoring through the Hallmark movies we'd watch. Now, I'd give anything to hear that sound again. I thought back to Christmases when Danny was little. I'd string the lights on the house while Dorothy baked sugar cookies in shapes. Danny would run around in his footy pajamas, more excited about the wrapping paper than what was inside the boxes. I'd always read The Night Before Christmas by the fireplace, with Danny curled up between Dorothy and me on the couch. Those were our traditions. But after Danny got married, things started changing slow. The first Christmas they were married, Stephanie said they needed to spend it with her family. It's important for newlyweds to start their own traditions, she'd said. I understood. Dorothy and I had done the same thing when we were young. Then the second year, same story. We're going to Mom's again. Maybe we can do something the week after. But the week after never felt the same. It was rushed, obligation instead of celebration. Every year after that, it seemed like I became more of a backup plan. When they did come over, it was always hurried. We can't stay long. Stephanie's family is expecting us for dessert. Or, we need to get back before the traffic gets bad. Stephanie never helped in the kitchen anymore. She'd sit at the table scrolling through her phone while I cooked. Danny would try to help, but he was always watching her, waiting for the signal that it was time to go. Like he was scared to enjoy himself too much at his old man's house. Last year, they'd shown up 2 hours late, already full from eating at her mother's house first. They picked at their food, complimented everything just enough to be polite, then left before I could serve dessert. Maybe next time, Danny had said, not meeting my eyes. But this year was different. This year I was alone. Dorothy wasn't here to smooth things over or make excuses, and they didn't even bother to show up at all. I sat there wondering what I'd done wrong. Did I talk about Dorothy too much? Make the house feel heavy with grief? Was I too old-fashioned for them? Maybe Stephanie didn't like that I still kept Dorothy's coffee cup on the counter, or that I hadn't changed anything in the house since she died. Or maybe it was simpler than that. Maybe they just didn't want me around anymore. 3 days after Christmas, I was in the garage workshop, trying to stay busy with a birdhouse project Dorothy had started last spring. She'd drawn up the plans, cut some of the pieces, then got too sick to finish it. I figured I owed it to her to get it done. That's when I noticed something odd. There was an envelope tucked behind the pegboard where Dorothy kept her gardening tools. It was yellowed around the edges, like it had been there for months, maybe longer. The handwriting on the front stopped me cold. Dorothy's careful. Cursive. Just Rick written across the front. No date, no explanation, just my name in her neat letters. My hands were shaking as I opened it. Inside was a short note on her personal stationery, the kind with the little flowers in the corner that she used for thank you cards. Rick, if you're reading this, something happened I hoped wouldn't. Go to my jewelry box, bottom drawer, there's more. Dorothy. I stood there in the garage for a long time, just holding that piece of paper. Dorothy had been planning for something. She'd seen something coming that I'd missed completely. I went straight to our bedroom. Her jewelry box still sat on the dresser exactly where she'd left it. I dusted around it a few times, but never moved it. It felt too much like disturbing her memory. The bottom drawer was stuck a little from humidity, but when I finally got it open, there was another envelope taped to the inside bottom, along with a small brass key tied with a blue ribbon. Dorothy's note. Inside was longer this time. Rick, if Danny ever shuts you out, this will make sense. You'll find what you need at the place this key opens. It's been yours all along. You just didn't know it. I love you. Take care of yourself." Attached was a legal document, a deed with my name printed clearly at the top, an address in Hendersonville, about 45 minutes south. I'd never heard of the street name. I sat on the edge of our bed, still holding the key, trying to piece it together. Why would Dorothy have property I didn't know about? How long had she been planning this? And why hide it from me? But her words kept echoing in my head. If Danny ever shuts you out, she'd known. Somehow, she'd seen what I couldn't see, that my own son might one day choose his wife's family over his father, that I might end up sitting alone on Christmas Day, wondering where I went wrong. I typed the address into my phone. The GPS showed a small house on a quiet residential street near the mountains. No pictures on the map, just a red pin marking the spot. I'd lived in this area my whole life, but I'd never been down that particular road. That night, I barely slept. I kept turning that brass key over in my hands, trying to figure out what Dorothy had been thinking. We'd been married 42 years. I thought I knew everything about her. Apparently not. The next morning, I packed a small bag with a thermos of coffee and a sandwich, just like Dorothy used to do when we took day trips. I drove the 45 minutes to Hendersonville, following the GPS down winding country roads I'd never seen before. The address led me down a gravel driveway behind a small hardware store. There it was, a white clapboard house with blue shutters and a covered porch. Nothing fancy, but well-maintained. Someone had been taking care of it. The key slid into the front door lock, like it belonged there. When I stepped inside, I felt like I was walking into a memory I'd forgotten I had. The furniture was ours. Not similar to ours, actually ours. Pieces I recognized from our first apartment, things we'd moved to storage when we bought better stuff. The old lamp with the burn mark on the shade where Danny had knocked it over when he was 8. The rocking chair I'd built in my workshop 20 years ago. The quilt Dorothy's grandmother had made, the one that was too delicate for everyday use. On the kitchen table was a folded note in Dorothy's handwriting. "This is yours in case they ever forget who you are. All my love, Dorothy." I walked through each room slowly. The kitchen was fully stocked. Canned goods, flour, sugar, coffee, everything organized the way Dorothy liked it. Nothing was expired. Someone had been maintaining this place. In the back bedroom, I found boxes labeled in Dorothy's neat printing, Rick's tools, photo albums, important papers. I opened the photo box. Pictures of Danny as a baby, our wedding day, family vacations, all the memories Dorothy had quietly moved here without telling me. There was even a grocery list stuck to the refrigerator in her handwriting. Bread, eggs, milk, coffee, bacon. Like she'd planned for me to live here. I sat on the porch for a long time that afternoon, just looking out at the small yard. There was a garden plot that had been prepared but not planted, a bird feeder hanging from an oak tree, a workshop shed in the back. Dorothy had thought of everything. She'd built me a whole life here, complete and waiting, in case the one I had fell apart. 3 days later, I got a phone call from a number I didn't recognize. "Mr. Richard Coleman? This is Harold Peterson. I was your wife's financial advisor. I'd never heard the name before. Dorothy never mentioned you. She asked me to keep our arrangement confidential. I hope I'm not catching you at a bad time, but Dorothy left specific instructions to contact you if certain circumstances arose with your family situation." We met the next day at his office above a bakery in downtown Asheville. Harold Peterson was older than I expected, maybe 72, with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses and the patient manner of someone who'd spent decades helping people plan for the worst. "Before we begin," he said, opening a thick folder, "I want you to know your wife was one of the most thoughtful women I've ever worked with. She came to see me about 5 years ago with some concerns." He pulled out a document with my name at the top. "Dorothy quietly moved a portion of your retirement savings into a separate trust account. It's in your name only, completely private." I stared at the papers. The account balance showed $385,000. She called it her insurance policy, Harold continued. "If anything ever happened to her and you found yourself feeling pressured or isolated by family, you'd have complete financial independence." My hands felt cold. Why would she think I'd need protection from my own family? Harold's expression grew serious. He pulled out another set of documents. "Because of these." The papers showed a series of financial requests and attempted withdrawals. Danny had come to Dorothy 3 separate times asking for money. First in 2018, requesting $18,000 to invest in Stephanie's real estate business. Dorothy had declined. Then again in 2020, same request for $25,000. She'd said no again. The last attempt was just 6 months before Dorothy died. This time, Danny had asked for $30,000, claiming it was for family financial planning. "Your wife documented every conversation," Harold said. "She was concerned about the pattern." Then he showed me something that made my stomach drop. A copy of a bank check with my forged signature on it. $12,000 made out to SP Real Estate Services. SP stands for Stephanie Palmer, her maiden name business account. Dorothy noticed the signature didn't match and had it investigated quietly. The money went toward a property flip in Tennessee that lost money. They forged my signature. Dorothy confronted them about it. Privately. Stephanie denied knowing anything about it. Danny claimed it must have been some kind of mistake, maybe a bank error. But your wife didn't believe them. Harold leaned back in his chair. After that incident, Dorothy started separating more assets. She said she wasn't going to let them manipulate you after she was gone. I left Harold's office with a folder full of documents and a head spinning with questions. Dorothy had been protecting me from something I didn't even see coming. She'd watched our son slowly turn into someone who saw his father as a source of money instead of family. The drive home felt longer than usual. I kept thinking about those forged signatures, the pattern of requests, the way Danny had been so evasive lately when I'd ask about his work or finances. It all made sense now. 2 weeks later, Danny called, said he wanted to come by and check on how I was doing. When he pulled into the driveway, I noticed Stephanie stayed in the car, engine running, like she was ready for a quick getaway. "Dad, I know Christmas was messed up," Danny started before he'd even gotten through the front door. "Things got crazy with Stephanie's family, and we just ran out of time." I let him talk, made us both coffee, and sat at the kitchen table while he went through his rehearsed apology. "The thing is," he continued, stirring his coffee nervously, "I've been thinking maybe you need some help managing things around here. Mom's paperwork, the financial stuff. I know it's got to be overwhelming." There it was, the real reason for the visit. "What made you think I need help managing anything?" I asked. Danny shifted in his chair. "Well, you've been kinda quiet lately. Stephanie and I have been worried about you. Maybe it would be easier if I helped you organize Mom's files, make sure everything's in order." "You mean, like her investment accounts?" His face went pale. "I just meant, making sure you're not missing anything important." I got up and walked to the kitchen counter where I'd left Harold's folder. "Like this?" I said, pulling out the bank statement showing his access attempts. Danny stared at the papers like they might disappear if he looked hard enough. "Or maybe you meant this?" I showed him the copy of the forged check. "Dad, I can explain that." "Don't." I sat back down. "Just tell me one thing. Did you know Stephanie forged my name on that check?" He looked down at his coffee cup. That was answer enough. "You weren't coming here to check on me," I said. "You were coming to see what Mom left behind that you could get your hands on. It's not like that." "Then what's it like, Danny?" "Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you and your wife have been planning to take advantage of me since before your mother died." He tried to argue, tried to make it sound like they were just looking out for my best interests. But I'd seen the documents. I knew about the secret house, the protected trust fund, all of Dorothy's careful planning. "Your mother saw this coming," I told him. "She knew you'd try this eventually. That's why she moved the money where you can't touch it." Danny's face went red. She had no right to hide assets from family. "Family?" I stood up. "When was the last time you called me just to talk? When was the last time you came over here because you wanted to spend time with me, not because you needed something?" He didn't have an answer for that. "Go home, Danny. Tell Stephanie I said hello." He left without another word. Through the kitchen window, I watched him get in the car where Stephanie was waiting. They sat there talking for a few minutes before driving away. I haven't seen them since. That was 8 months ago. Danny sends cards on birthdays and holidays now. Store-bought ones with generic messages signed Danny and Stephanie. No phone calls, no visits. But also no more attempts to access my accounts or help me manage my finances. I've been spending more time at the Hendersonville house. Got the workshop set up with tools Dorothy had moved there. Started teaching some neighborhood kids basic woodworking on Saturday mornings. Their parents dropped them off and picked them up, but some stay for lunch. The house feels alive again. Last Christmas was different. My neighbor Gary brought his family over to the main house for dinner. We grilled steaks instead of cooking a fancy meal, watched football, told stories about the old days. His kids call me Uncle Rick and help me put new lights on the tree. Gary's wife Linda made cookies. Their teenage son helped me fix the back porch steps that had been sagging. It wasn't the family I'd planned for, but it was the family that showed up. Dorothy was right about a lot of things. She always said, blood doesn't make family, character does. You need people who show up when they say they will, who care about you for who you are, not what you might leave them. And sometimes the greatest gift someone can give you isn't what they provide, but what they protect you from having to give away to the wrong people. I still think about that Christmas dinner sometimes. All that food I made, all that hope I put into making everything perfect. But I don't feel bitter about it anymore. That dinner taught me something important about the difference between people who love you and people who love what you can do for them. If you've ever been forgotten by the people you thought loved you most, I hope you find your own Hendersonville house, a place where you remember who you are when everyone else forgets. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not bitter. I'm just more careful about who gets invited to my table, and grateful every day that Dorothy was even more careful than I was. They chose another family's table that Christmas, so I built a better one. And this table, the one where people actually show up and stay for dessert, this is where I belong. Dorothy always said I was a good builder. Turns out she was right about that too. Sometimes the people who should love you most teach you the hardest lesson, that your worth was never theirs to give or take away. And the real victory isn't getting revenge on those who betrayed you. It's discovering you never needed their approval to build a life worth living.